This reorganizational work session, regular meeting of the Township Council is called to order. Madam Clerk, would you please read the Open Public Meeting Act?
In accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of the January 7, 2019 reorganization work session regular meeting of the Franklin Township Council was provided as required by law.
Thank you. If you could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Councilman Theodore Chase. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
As we gather here today as members of the Township Council, we pray that we are ever mindful of opportunities to render our service to fellow citizens and to our community, keeping in mind always the enduring values of life, exerting our efforts in those areas and on those things upon which future generations can build with confidence. Let us continue to strive to make a better world. Amen.
Madam Master Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Chase.
Here.
Councilwoman Francois.
Here.
Councilman Galtieri.
Here.
Mayor Kramer.
Here.
Councilman Onijaka. Councilman Prasad.
Here.
Councilman Vasanella.
Here.
Councilman Wright.
Thank you. Okay, now for the hardest part of the meeting. We have several dignitaries here, and let me see how many names I can get wrong. Starting not in any particular order of rank, but just from so right to left, we have new Board of Education member and former Board of Education President Ed Potasnik, Vice President Ardaman Singh. As I said, in direction, we have the President of the Board of Education, Nancy LaCourte. We have the Republican local chairman, Bob LaCourte. We have Mike Smith of the Board of Education. We have our Sewage Authority and former Deputy Mayor Brian Regan. We have our local Democratic chairman, Ron Jordan. We have, of course, the county chairman, Peg Schaefer, and her partner, Joel Shane. We have Steve Peter, our clerk. Oh, and who are these? We have, well, we actually have three freeholders here. We have Chanel Robinson, Deputy Mayor, Councilwoman, and freeholder Chanel Robinson. And Sarah, our freeholder and former Board of Education member, Sarah Sui. We have the grand poobah of the entire county. For those of you who are at the county reorg, they would know what I mean. Freeholder Brian and Director Brian Levine. We had Mayor Ed Zimmerman. Oh my God. Assemblyman. We have Assemblyman, what's your name? Joseph Danielson. We have our Chief of Police, Rich Grammer. I can't believe I've gotten all these names. We have Deputy Mayor Bill Grippo here. We have members of our police force here, mostly acting as my bodyguards. And I think I've gotten everyone. Please excuse me if I've missed anyone, and please don't be ashamed to raise your hand if I missed you. And we will be ignoring the person who just stood up. Okay. Thank you all for coming. The next item are proclamations and commendations, which we have none. And then we have the habit of doing public discussion early at this meeting so that people can advise us on the important things we are about to do. So do we have a motion to open for public discussion?
So moved. Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of opening for public discussion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We are now open for public discussion, limited to 5 minutes. No yielding of time, may only come up once. Please address the council, not the audience. And anyone wishing to speak, please come up.
Benjamin Guy, 35 Patton Drive. I just got a couple of questions that I guess I just want to know about. For one of the things that's coming down the pipe that I guess is going to happen either this year or what have you is the use of I guess cannabis, medical marijuana that's actually going to happen pretty much in the state of New Jersey. We talked around it pretty much about which side we were on the fence with the town. If it passes and it goes through, one of the things that we have here, and I just want to know how it's going to be enforced and what the thought process is going to be done, is that when we're doing with, I guess the ordinance we passed, I think it's 3780 or 3755. We probably passed it back in 2010, which has to do with smoking or usage of stuff in public places. If we ever get a dispensary or we get anything else in this area or in anywhere in this specific area as far as that usage, will that ordinance actually be looked at to actually be amended because of it's going to be populated because of that place at all? Those are things that we need to actually be advisement of and look at as we go along, because how it's written, it's one of the things that's not really it's like a gray area. And if you're going to be out there having police outside citating people because of that, then you hurt the business of whatever's going to happen. And even if it's on New Brunswick side or if it's on Somerset side, Boundbrook side, or anything else, it's something that we have to look at and we have to consider. So that is one thing to bring up. The second thing is another ordinance that we have is use of signs in the area, whether or not it's bandit signs or public usage signs that people use to actually describe and put out in front of their lawns to state what they exactly are opposed or against as far as usage. Those things we just need to look at, and also digital marquee signs are something else that we need to look at altogether, because with the developments that are happening in the towns and we change the zoning regulations that are here, we need to actually look at those specific permitted uses, because some of our ordinances have been in effect since 2005, and because the town is grown and changed a lot, there's some things that we might need to look at because of the utilization of certain districts. We're really with Hamilton Street and also in Davidson Avenue as far as those utilizations things. The way the law is pretty much written currently at this specific time frame doesn't appease to business owners that actually do the right thing in their areas to attract business at all. And if we're trying to change the dynamics and create economic zones here, these are things that we probably need to look at. So that was one of the other things. The last thing is just, can we get an update? And I know I've talked to Ms. Francois about it, but I just want to make sure we're keeping on track with it. Is that where we currently are with the youth center? Can we make sure that that's a standing report that we give every month, because of the time frame that we're actually dealing with trying to get that push forward, to make sure it stays on the topic that is here, so that we make sure that stays on everybody's mind, because that is one thing that will alleviate a lot of tension, pressure, and points of interest in a specific town to actually get done. So that is pretty much my time at this time frame. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak?
Good afternoon, everyone. Chanel Robinson, 196 Delmonico Avenue. I'm just encouraging council that remember the oath of office that we have taken. And when you do your appointments and when you do your duty, I know it's not easy, but it's what we signed up for. So keep in mind the people before the politics. Even though we're faced with many challenges as people come up wanting us to say or be swayed one way or another, we have to do the right thing, because that's what we took the oath of office to do. In addition to that, Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for all your well wishes on my new position. Like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm part of Franklin, and we will never part. Wherever I may go, wherever I may be, I am a warrior for life. And with that, I want to bring some news from the county, and I just so happen to be here today, but from time to time I will forward this information as it pertains to Franklin residents and any information that's pertinent to the residents from the county level. And if any residents would like any alerts or subscribe to the county website as to what type of alerts or notifications, such as job postings, things that are happening, such as tree shredding, recycling program that's coming up, things of that nature, again, go to the website and subscribe, and you can get that information as it becomes available and posted to the public. So I read for you. Operation Secure Shred, sponsored by Somerset County. Shredding events are held on 10 Saturdays through the Operation Secure Shred program, rain or shine. All shredding events are held from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. or until the trucks are filled to capacity, at which time they will leave and the event is over for the day. The 2018-2019 Operation Secure Shred program will run from March 31st, 2018 to January 19th of 2019. And this is available for all residents of all 21 municipalities within the county. And finally, the Somerset County Park Commission will be accepting natural Christmas trees for recycling through Thursday, January 31st. The residents here in Franklin is one of the two locations, can bring their trees to Colonial Park Gardens, parking lot F, 156 Metlers Road in the Somerset section of Franklin Township, North Branch Park at the lighted baseball field, 355 Milltown Road in Bridgewater. Both facilities will accept trees from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. 7 days a week. God bless, and have a Happy New Year.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? And while you're coming up, twice Mayor Metler has joined us. I announced dignitaries earlier, and you just joined us, so I thought people should know.
Good evening, Ed Potosnik, 163 Home Street. Just want to say Happy New Year to everyone, and it's great to be back. It's also great to follow up on freeholder Chanel Robinson, Franklin's own, and congratulations to Sarah Sui on an amazing victory, and the swearing in this past week was phenomenal. I want to also give it up to everyone who helped make that happen. It's a critical importance that we get people out in elections and to understand what's happening both across the county, but also as it pertains to Franklin Township. Putting people ahead of politics is an important thing for all of us. And I think what we showed in the last election is that when we run on issues that matter, people make the right decision. And that's certainly the case with the freeholders. And so many other dignitaries today. It's just great to be here. I want to just take, if we could, a moment to recognize two of Franklin's own that have recently passed. Some of you may have come into contact with a graduate of Franklin High School, Brian Canterman. I know one of my former housemates served on the first aid squad with him. He moved out of town. He was serving as a police officer, and his life was cut too short. In addition, Jonathan Black, he was the son of Miss Maria Black, which was a Spanish teacher at our high school. And if we just all take 5 seconds of my time, maybe 15, to reflect on how precious our lives are and the things that we've dedicated, and in their honor, take that moment. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Wow.
Linda Powell, 22 Buffer Drive. I'm a member of the steering committee of the Franklin Township Task Force, parenthetically opposing the proposed compressor station and pipeline expansion, excuse me, which is the Williams Transco Northeast Supply Enhancement Project, otherwise known as NESE, N-E-S-E. For all people, including council members who have signed up as interveners, we still have time to comment to FERC up until the final environmental impact statement, the FEIS, which is due to be published on January 25th. If you want ideas for what to comment on, you can see the comment published by Sane Energy, 350 Brooklyn, and Surfrider Foundation, New York City. There are 3 environmental groups from New York who have been working in coalition with our grassroots groups here the environmental defenders, Jersey environmental groups. They're asking for a supplemental draft environmental impact statement, which is published in an email from FERC or found on the FERC website for information for docket number CP 17-101. We can all do something similar, but time is of the essence. We would also like to thank the Township of South Brunswick for their post on the FERC website today, which basically supported our township's comments, which were posted by Bob Vornlocker on December 20th. For those who have not signed up to be an intervener, as well as those who are interveners, we still need your help. We are asking you to contact state assemblymen and women and state senators. You can email them or call them to support Assembly Danielsman's AR, Assembly Resolution 164, and Senator Bateman's SR 94, which take a stand against the Nessie project, including the proposed compressor station here in Franklin and the pipeline expansion under Ayrton Bay. This will help bring attention to the opposition to this project, which can still be stopped by the NJDEP, the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, by denying needed permits. You can find more information on what you can do on our website, which is scrap, SCRAP, Nessie, NESE.org. You can look at the home section on the bottom part and also on the section label updates. We also want to offer our thanks to our township manager for his help and support, to the Franklin Times for helping to publicize information, to our council members, and especially to Mayor Kramer for additional support and letters to Governor Murphy and the New Jersey Department of Education, to our council liaisons, Councilman Chase and Councilman Prasad for their ongoing support and assistance, to the Board of Ed, Dr. Avalli and his administrative staff, to the Franklin Women's Club and the JFK Club, and to all others who have been involved in writing, signing letters, coming out for meetings, hearings, rallies. Continue your needed help and support. Lastly, I would like to congratulate our new freeholders, and also like to wish all a happy and a healthy new year ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Mr. Manager, is the intermittent nature of the microphone a sign it's the battery's giving out, or just, okay.
I may not need it. I don't know if you need it to record anything. But Robert Peterson, 66 Wilson Road in Somerset, New Jersey. Again, I'm here tonight to express my concerns that we're still going sideways over Councilman Prasad. I know that this council issued a censure, and we all know that that basically doesn't carry very much weight other than a symbolic issue. But if it were intended to be symbolic, if you guys are trying to at least move forward and distance yourself from a person who has shown over the years, over and over, improper behavior that does not befit a council person, then why are we here tonight with a resolution that's going to put him on 2 committees? Committees, one of which is administration and land use. The other is open space and parks and recs. Areas where the man has demonstrated an inability to follow the laws and follow the rules and disclose his behavior and his actions. Come on. I don't get it. I don't understand. I also want to bring up a touchy subject. The statues, again, public information. Those statues were delivered. They are here. They're in Flemington, New Jersey. At least that's where they were delivered to. One of those statues is presumably in the likeness of Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Foundation has demonstrated they are restrictive, right? in the use of that likeness and the use of his name. We don't know what these statues look like, don't know the first thing about them. Has an apology ever been given to the Martin Luther King Foundation? Or is Franklin Township now, with the censure, are you guys, all your hands are wiped clean? Punctious pilots, all of you guys? Is that what you think? Where's that statue going to end up? Do you have any answers for that? Again, it's just a disappointment that you guys, unbelievable, you know. I don't know where you're going to find some moral rectitude. Apparently not tonight, and apparently not anytime soon.
Good evening, Council. Sidney Lentz, 22 Cornelius Way. Councilman Prasad, do you have any intentions on resigning? Councilman Prasad, do you have any evidence that you can provide me that Republicans don't want any statues of blacks in the town of Franklin? I have these tickets here. Can I give them to you for you maybe to help me out with? And will you take these for me? Help me out with them? And lastly, can you call the FBI on my neighbor? Their dog's barking all the time. So can you call the FBI for me on my behalf? Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak? Someone?
Milton Augustine, 10 Fisher Drive, Franklin Park. Here representing the charter school, Thomas Edison, the G Smart charter.
Yeah, speak into the mic, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here representing Thomas Edison Energy Smart Charter School. I'm the VP of the PTO, and the school has been doing well academically. And as you know, charter schools, we have to raise funds, and we've been having some issues in terms of getting access to facilities. One in particular, Franklin High School, where in one instance we had to pay, they charged us $2,600 to use the facility. So I'm here to ask the council to try to look into communication efforts in terms of the charter school and probably the Board of Education to help us in our efforts to raise funds. We need currently we're trying to do a science lab, and whatever help we could get to use facilities to have events would be appreciated. Thank you.
Sir, maybe I missed it, but I'm not sure we got your address.
Oh, 10 Fisher Drive?
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Skip Schaefer, 2 Lair Terrace, Somerset. Happy New Year to you all. As I stated at last month's council meeting, we've all been at these reorg meetings. They're a time of looking forward. They're a time of fresh starts. But the cloud is still here. The cancer is still sitting up on that dais. The disease to this council is still sitting up on that dais. And I'm hoping that some of our dignitaries this evening who have let this behavior go unstopped for the last 3+ years, I hope they're listening very carefully. You have one person who is impugning the integrity of all of you up there. You have one person who has stained the integrity of this council, has stained council members, some of you twice, some of you just once, from this past year. So far, only Councilman Chase has had the courage to call for Mr. Prasad's resignation. The censure was nice, didn't really accomplish anything. If Mr. Prasad had anything to do with these nominations that you're going to be considering tonight, I don't know why you're putting any weight toward his recommendations. He's already shown that he can nominate judges and then cozy up to them later on. The cloud is still here. Sorry to be a buzzkill tonight. The disease is still here. The cancer is still here. And the longer it goes spoken by our illustrious guests here, the longer they let this behavior continue, the longer they don't address it, they are stained as well. Their integrity is now impugned. They know what's been going on over the last 3+ years. They have said nothing. That makes them accomplices, that makes them accessories to the behavior. Whatever you people can do to start washing off the stain, I urge you to do. Because we're going to address this meeting after meeting after meeting, as long as the disease is still here, as long as the cancer is still present, as long as the cloud is still here. Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Mayor, seeing no one else coming forward to speak, I'll motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, and all in favor of closing the public portion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion is carried, public portion is closed. We are now on to item number 7, 2019 appointment of deputy mayor. I will take any nominations for the deputy mayor for one-year term ending December 31st, 2019.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to nominate Councilman James Vasanella for deputy mayor.
Seconded.
Okay. Nominations, by the way, do not require seconds, but they can be made. Are there any other nominations? Do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Nominations are closed. I can do this by acclamation. All in favor of Councilman Vasanella being deputy mayor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion is carried. Congratulations. Thank you, Mayor. Deputy Mayor will now be sworn in. Yeah. Deputy Mayor, would you like your family to come? Oh.
She's so much better.
I'm ready, Madam Master Clerk.
I, James Vasanella,
I, James Vasanella,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United
and
States
the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in the state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
all the duties of
Deputy Mayor of the Township of Franklin,
Deputy Mayor of the Township of Franklin,
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
It's turned the wrong way. I just had a couple of comments to make. This feels weird. I'm just going to turn this around for 1 second. Thank you. So I'd like to thank my council colleagues for appointing me deputy mayor for 2019. Like most years, 2019 will be a very busy year for our township and our council. I look forward to being part of the continuing efforts to update and upgrade our infrastructure. Our efforts include a very ambitious road repaving program, some major water system projects, and quite a few other endeavors. I'll continue serving on key committees dealing with public safety and emergency services. We're extremely fortunate here in Franklin to have so many skilled and dedicated people keeping our town safe, whether they're full-time employees or whether they're part-time volunteers. I'd like to say a well-deserved thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for running towards the danger when most people, including myself, would be running from it. Thank you very much. A large township, a lot of public land to manage. We've made great progress in upgrading and maintaining our existing parks and recreation areas and historical properties while continuing to preserve more land that otherwise would likely be developed. We as a town have accomplished much in the last few years. However, there is much more work to be done, as there always is and probably always will be with a town, any town, especially a town of our size. Everything that cannot be accomplished in 2019, but there's a few certain priority items I'm hopeful we can make priorities and make progress on. And just a few of those I'll mention here. And those include taking more substantial actions to deal with the overpopulation of deer in Franklin and other road safety and traffic concerns, but especially trying to get hold of this deer problem. Strive to minimal or perhaps even a zero municipal tax increase, as we've done very well financially in the last several years, and hopefully we'll be able to have a balanced budget. Do everything we can to make sure any revitalization and economic development efforts are done in a way that take into account the needs of the local residents and improve the quality of life, housing needs, and job opportunities for existing residents. We welcome new residents, we welcome businesses, but when we're revitalizing and doing economic development efforts, if we can't help the people that are here and have been committed to staying in this town, they're not worth doing. And I say that because they are worth doing, but we must remember that we have to take into account the needs of people here and the services and jobs and everything else that we're going to provide with our economic development benefit them first and foremost. Continue implementing policies that provide better customer relations and cost efficiencies. Just one off the top of my head I mentioned years ago, maybe we could pick up on it this year, is take our water and sewer bill, which go out separately, quarterly, maybe combine them, save a few dollars, make it a little easier for people as they're doing their bills. Construct a safe parking area, I think long overdue, at our little Franklin Township-owned Little League complex. Start construction on our long-awaited for and exciting new youth center, which has been championed for years by Councilwoman Francois. And hopefully we make a major headway on that this year. And try and increase our elder care resources and services for seniors and others. We have an aging population, and we're all not getting any younger, obviously, including myself. So we can perhaps work with the county a little bit more and provide some better information and consolidation and even expand the services for elder care and other senior needs. And continue to fight the compressor station. Didn't forget that. And I might go on for years, but I know this year will be critical in that fight. So I just mentioned a few. Obviously, you can go on here forever. But one last thing in closing. This town is open 24/7. You know, we're kind of on call, and we are bothered and get emails and everything else and phone calls all 24 hours, 7 days a week. But a real thank you needs to go out to people like Bob Vorlacher, the chief. Oh, he wasn't in uniform, almost missed him. And all of his people, and every public works. There's a lot of people here that are on call and literally have to be there and out there taking care of business when something goes awry or a storm comes or whatever happens. So, you know, it's a big town. There's a lot going on. It's been a rough year, but I look forward to a very rewarding and accomplishing year this year. And again, thank you for all the people, to all the people who make this town work 24/7. And stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. We're now on to item number 8, 2019 appointments of attorneys and other professionals. Nominations for Township Attorney for the one-year term ending December 31st, 2019. Do I have a nomination for Township Attorney?
Louis Reno.
We have one nomination for Louis Renone. Are there any other nominations? Motion to close nominations.
So moved.
Seconded.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. All in favor of Louis Renone as Township Attorney, say aye.
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 Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Renone. Freeholder Sui, before you leave, I realize I have a quorum of freeholders here. Come on up, Mr. Renone. Yes. And while I have a quorum of freeholders, I just want to make the point, we need to sit down sometime and we need to solve the congestion on South Middlebush at Cordelula and Jakes Lane. Bypass lanes would be very nice there, and we need to come to a consensus between the town and the county as to who owns the walkway and the trash along Easton Avenue. You guys are, I'm sure, going to do a great job for us. We got 2 freeholders here from Franklin and the good freeholder Sui. So let's work on that in the future. Those are 2 at the top of my list of 7. So thank you very much. I just didn't want you to leave without that. And now I have a township attorney to keep me from saying stupid things. Or not. Or not. Okay. The next item is nomination for tax appeal attorney for one-year term ending December 31st, 2019. Do I have a motion for tax appeal attorney?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have Gregory Pasquale of Shane and Schaefer.
Do I have any other nominations? Motion to close nominations?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nominations are closed. All in favor of Shane and Schaefer, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Congratulations. Shane and Schaefer are old and new tax appeal attorneys. Item C, nomination for bond counsel for one-year term ending December 31st. Do I have a nomination?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Willens, Goldman, and Spitzer, Everett Johnson.
Are there any other nominations? Do I have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Nominations are closed. All in favor of the nominee, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Okay. Item number 9, appointments of municipal judge, prosecutor, and public defenders. So I have a nomination for municipal judge for the 3-year term ending December 31st, 2021.
Maureen Vela.
We have a nomination for Maureen Vela. Do we have any other nominations? Do we have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. All in favor of Maureen Vela for judge, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Congratulations, Judge Vela. Nominations for Township Prosecutor for one-year term ending December 31st, 2019. Do I have a nomination? We really need a prosecutor. Would anyone like to nominate Bernice Jala? for
Mr. Mayor,
this
I'll nominate Bernice Jones.
Hold on. Associate, right? Associate prosecutor. Okay. I nominate Bernice M. Jallo.
We don't need a second. Any other nominations for prosecutor? All in favor of closing nominations for I'm sorry, do I have a motion and a second to close nominations
Motion.
for prosecutor?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and all in favor of Bernice Jala for prosecutor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to associate prosecutor, doing it without a script. All in favor of do we have a nomination for associate prosecutor?
Yes, Mayor. I'd like to nominate Kevin Buchanan.
Are there any other nominations for associate prosecutor?
I move that the nominations be closed.
Do we have a second? Moved and seconded. All in favor of, all in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Nominations are closed. All in favor of Kevin Buchanan for associate prosecutor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. We are now on to the public defender. Do I have a nomination for public defender?
Mr. Mayor, I nominate Dennis M. Orsiello to continue as public defender as he has ably for many years.
I second that. Even though I am opposed to
Doesn't need a
seconds
second,
on
man.
nominations. Are there any other nominations?
I move the nominations be closed, Mr. Mayor.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded on closing nominations. All in favor of closing nominations, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nominations are closed. All in favor of Dennis Orsiello to continue as public defender for, I don't know how many decades, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. Motion is passed. Dennis, congratulations, Mr. Orsiello. We are now on to boards, committees, commissions, appointments, resolutions. So the resolution number 19-1 through 19-4 as listed on the agenda are presented to Township Council for adoption. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Anyone wish to add someone, take someone off? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, we'll take a brief break, I guess. How are we doing there?
Okay.
All right, good to know.
Councilman Chase,
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois,
Yes.
Councilman Galtieri,
Yes.
Mayor Kramer,
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka,
Yes.
Councilman Prasad,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasanella,
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Motion passes, and that was the first time we heard the name Deputy Mayor Vasanella. Very nice. So was I able to do 1 through 4 all at once, or do I need to do them all separately? Madam Clerk,
Did them all.
you did them all.
You did them all.
Okay, great. Okay, So we are now on to the mayoral appointments. The mayor can appoint someone for planning board for a one-year term as the mayor's representative, and someone for the library board for a one-year term as the mayor's representative. And then there is a five-year library board term as well. I would like to appoint John Clyde for the five-year library board term. And I'm going to hold off right now on the planning board and the one-year library appointment. So the next item, which probably many people are here for, is selection and appointment of councilperson at large. We, at this point in time, and any council member can disagree with me if they think so, we are still undergoing the democratic vetting process for this position, and we will not be voting on it at this time. I'm the one who placed it on the agenda because I thought we might be appointing this person, and I'd certainly rather have it on the agenda and then cancel it than not have it on the agenda and do it. We have the way the law is, from the resignation time of now freeholder Chanel Robinson, then Councilwoman, actually Deputy Mayor Chanel Robinson, there is a 15-day period for the Township Democratic Committee to submit a name. That 15-day period isn't up, and after that period is up and the name is submitted, then the council has 30 days to select. So we are not going to be selecting at this time unless any council person objects.
Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, the
Sure.
Democratic Committee is required to submit 3 names.
Yes.
And the council's time to act is 30 days from the date of the vacancy. So the first 15 days is a period of time to give the Democratic Committee, because the person was elected as a Democrat, that's why it's the Democratic Committee, the opportunity to submit 3 names, and then council has until the expiration of 30 days from the date of the vacancy, which would.
So we are now on to council comments and committee reports. We can start with Mr. Wright.
Happy New Year. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Chase.
I feel like saying ditto. We didn't have any committee meetings in December because of the holidays. So Happy New Year to everyone. And I think that probably by our next council meeting, well, really, we have to, by our next council meeting, appoint a new member to replace now Freeholder Robinson. So, thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Happy New Year. And I'd just like to say that I'm grateful to the voters of Franklin who gave me the honor and privilege to serve them. I will continue to do so to the best of my ability. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Francois.
You know, I was thinking he was next, but he's the deputy mayor, so I'm next. Got to make adjustment to these changes. Happy New Year, everybody. I just want to say I'm really looking forward to 2019. I'm very, very excited about the youth center. I've been spending a lot of time with the staff. I've been spending a lot of time with the architect, Kimmel Burgett, and we've been working on the design of the building and the programs and services that are going to go into that building. So I'm just very, very excited about what's going to happen in Franklin Township in 2019, working towards the grand opening for the youth center in 2020. And also, I want to say that there are a lot of very, very positive things going on in Franklin Township, and we will continue to focus on the positive and make Franklin, it used to be the 5th best place to live. We want to keep it that way. So thank you all for coming. Happy New Year, and go, 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 Franklin Township. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Take a clap.
Mr. Onichaka.
Yes, Mayor. First of all, I want to use this privilege to wish everybody Happy New Year. And there's no doubt in my mind this year will be terrific. And we are all ready to work for Franklin. So it's just what I want to say. I wish everybody Happy New Year and prosperous New Year too. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Gualtieri.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Briefly, just Happy New Year, as everybody else has said, but Happy New Year to everybody. I guess I was one of the few people that actually did have a meeting already for, I had sewage authority last week, so just as in case you didn't get the emails, Facebook posts, social media alerts, Nixle alerts, or any of the other combined messages we send out, we are doing work on Easton Ave this week, and that's it's a clean out for once every 18 months to 2 years. So please pardon the inconvenience of intermittent lane closures this week, but if everything goes smoothly, it will just be for this week. But we tried to get out the notice as early as possible, and please bear with us. It's just to make sure that everything continues to work properly. But other than that, I think we'll be starting to dive into all our committee meetings in the next couple days. So welcome 2019. But again, Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Vasanella.
Thank you, Mayor. So I've already said my comments earlier, but I just want to mention, matter of fact, you mentioned sewer. The list goes on when I think about the people that are there to handle things that happen. God knows sewer things happen, our infrastructure is pretty vast in this town. But whether it's them or animal control, again, there's a lot of people back there, and I see the president of BOE. Our school district, of course, has the same thing. They have so many people keeping that functioning and are there 24/7 when needed. But as far as our township, I can't thank enough those people. And the people you see, we've appointed these professionals. I know a lot of people don't deal with them on a day-to-day basis and may not know who they are, but I believe we have some of the best. Someone around the audience now, Lou's up here now. We have some of the best professionals and consultants and attorneys I think you can get in the state of New Jersey. And one last thing, anybody who has any ideas, and I know the mayor always says this, or used to say it often, tell us, send us emails, complain if you want, of course, suggestions and positive new ideas are best, but we get some of our best ideas literally from things people throw at us. Whether it's a suggestion or complaint or concern. So please keep it coming. I know all try to get back to people as soon as we can. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But again, thank you. And again, thank you to my colleagues for entrusting me with Deputy Mayor for 2019. Thank you.
Thank you for my comments. Happy New Year, and Mayor Levine, Mayor Levine.
Here.
Grand Poobah Levine. Cordeloo Lane, Bypass, Easton Ave, and let's get to work. Okay, on to just a few more minutes to the meeting. Approvals of the minutes. I present the following minutes
Mr.
for
Mayor.
approval. Oh, the township manager.
I usually don't have to say that, but I guess you forgot me already.
Please manage your report, Township.
I do have some things to report, Mr. Mayor, so thank you, and mine are not only just to say Happy New Year to everyone, but certainly Happy New Year. Just to address some of the issues that were brought up and to echo Councilwoman Francois' comments. Mr. Guy, the timetable that was provided several times here is still being adhered to. I'll just go over it quickly. Back in the beginning of September, we kicked off the design of the youth center. The schematic design was completed on October 2nd. It was reviewed by Franklin Township staff between the 2nd and the 9th. Design development began to complete the site plan and architecturals on October 10th. We've now reviewed the overall plan in committee, and it will be reviewed by the construction department with the architect this week and next week, with the documentation to continue through April 1st, with the hope that after final review by the township staff between the 1st and 12th of April, it can go out to bid sometime between the 22nd of April and the 21st of May, with an award of contract in June and construction to follow afterwards, with the completion hopefully August, September of 2020. So that timetable is still being adhered to, and there will be updates posted on the website once we get the elevations and site plan complete. So that should be within the next couple weeks. You should see something on the website, and you can continue to follow it there. So that's where we're at with the Youth Center. One other upcoming event on Monday, January 21st, the Franklin Township Martin Luther King Foundation will be sponsoring the 22nd Annual Community Breakfast at the Doubletree Hotel. Tickets are available for purchase at the Community Senior Center here in the Municipal Complex, and also available for purchase online at www.ftmlk.org. I'll brag a little bit. I'm one of the very few in the world that can say that I have attended every single one of the first 21, and I'll be there for the 22nd as well. It's a wonderful breakfast, and I encourage all of you to attend if you can. I know it's during the week for some of you, and it starts at 8:30 in the morning, so it's an early start. This year's keynote speaker is former administrative law judge Tiffany Williams, who is the founder of the Esther Project. I encourage all of you to look that up online, the Esther Project. It's quite an ambitious endeavor that Judge Williams has taken on, and she'll make an excellent keynote speaker, I'm sure, as all the previous 21 have been. So I encourage all of you to attend. And that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And as I see Mr. Zimmerman there, I am reminded, Mayor Zimmerman, I am reminded that the Somerset County Governing Officials Association dinner is at the Stage House this Wednesday, so it's in our town. This is a great meeting to go to. You meet the governing officials from other towns. I can say I've been there a number of times. It is very collegiate. It is not partisan at all. There's a guest speaker that is there, and we learn things. We get to meet each other, and please put me down and send in my voucher. And I understand Ms. Francois, Councilwoman Francois is going to be there. I encourage every council member to make it and tell the clerk, and she will pay for the dinner. It is worth the money. It is worth your time, and I will be attending.
I sent in my RSVP to be coming late this afternoon.
Excellent. So there'll be at least 3 of us. The council discussion items, we have none. Approval of the minutes. I again present the following minutes for approval by Township Council. The Township Council work session regular meeting of December 11, 2018 at 7 p.m. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any corrections? Discussion of the minutes? Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Chase?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Galtieri?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka? Councilman Prasad?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Approval of the warrants. Warrants in the amount of $12,070,878.26 on December 31st, 2018 are presented to the Township Council for payment. Do we have a motion?
I move that the warrants as read be paid.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion, any item that wish to be pulled? As Mayor Levine would always remind us, these are the bills we pay. Seeing no discussion, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Chase?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Galtieri?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilman Prasad?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Moving on to ordinance on second reading, we have none. Ordinances on introduction and first reading. These are ordinances that we are basically announcing to the town that we intend to vote on in a couple of weeks. So this is kind of a pre-notice. Ordinance 2061-19, an ordinance amending the code of the Township of Franklin, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, more particularly Chapter 112 Development, to update and simplify application checklists for applications before Planning and Zoning Board of Adjustment, and contains related ordinance amendments. The foregoing ordinance is presented to Township Council for adoption on first reading, posting, publication in accordance with law, and public hearing and final adoption on Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Complex. Do I have a motion to introduce?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. So in short, this is a way of simplifying the paperwork and checklists that one has to go through in order to put something before zoning board and planning board. As it was shown to us in the economic development meeting, the old pile was this thick, the new pile will be this thick. Still kind of thick, but half as thick. Any other discussion on the item? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Chase?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Galtieri?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Chaka?
Yes.
Councilman Prasad?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
We are now on to the consent agenda. Items A through AL is listed on the consent agenda portion of this meeting are presented to the Township Council for adoption. Do we have a motion on the consent agenda?
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
Any discussion, any items someone wishes to be voted on separately or to discuss separately?
Mr. Mayor,
Sure,
I would like to pull out AK for your discussion.
sure.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to draw attention to two particular resolutions. The first is Resolution F. I know you won't say anything yourself, so I'll say it for you. And there's a transposed number. 107 weddings, 214 very happy people in the year 2018, thanks to the mayor. And then a whole bunch of animals also happy because you donated all of the fees to Second Chance for Animals to support our shelter. So a donation of $5,350, pretty significant donation to the shelter, so thank you.
It's all for the puppies, kitties, and I guess a
There you
couple of
go.
rabbits.
And the other is, I'd just like to just note in L, Resolution 19-16, which is awarding a fair and open professional services agreement for Township Engineer Services to CME Associates. Two members of CME are here today. Rob and Darren are the ones who are basically taking care of our day-to-day engineering services here with the township. And we don't appoint a person, so they don't get that township attorney type treatment, but we appoint the firm. And this is something new. We did it for 6 months in 2018, from July to December, when our former engineer Tom Zilnick retired. And the history of Franklin Township has always been to have a staff member as the township engineer, not a consulting firm. I'll tell you that over the first 6 months, the staff is very satisfied, beyond our expectations, with the services that are being provided by CME as our township engineer. And I'm glad that we could make the recommendation to follow with that appointment again for 2019 for the full calendar year. So, and I think it's going to save us a little bit of money too, so that's not a bad thing either.
Okay, so item AK, as Councilman Wright asked about, this is an item I put on the agenda. The freeholders have recently, we have a return of a freeholder. The freeholders have recently passed a resolution to televise their meetings or record their meetings. And I've always pledged to myself that, and I've always wanted to get to a meeting to prompt them with this, but I would like their meetings to be shown on our channel, FTTV channel. We repeat this meeting and other meetings over and over again. It would just mean we would repeat a meeting a little bit less frequently. And on the link on our page that links to the streaming videos of our meetings, we can also link to the freeholders. I don't think they're going to start tomorrow doing it, but within a couple of weeks or so, they're going to be videoing their meetings, and I certainly want to watch them. So this is a motion to make it a little bit more available to our township people. Anyone want to call up any other items? Okay, so voting on the block of items, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Chase?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Galtieri?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilman Prasad?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
And at the governing officials meeting, I'll prompt other people to do that if they have televised sites on their towns. Next item is resolutions to be voted on separately. We have none. Old business, we have none. We do, unfortunately for council, have an executive session. Resolution 19-43, authorize executive session, contract negotiation, PBA, SOA. These are the unions associated with our police force. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Seeing no discussion on going into executive session, all in favor of going in, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know, thank you. Thank you. Let me give you some points of law later. All in favor, I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Chase?
Yes.
Councilwoman Francois?
Yes.
Councilman Galtieri?
Yes.
Mayor Kramer?
Yes.
Councilman Oni Jaka?
Yes.
Councilman Prasad?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Vasanella?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Before I call the meeting, a humorous thing. I know that when Mayor Levine was mayor here and our attorney was the attorney, they had an agreement never to embarrass each other in public. The attorney and I do not have such an agreement. So at this time, the Township Council will adjourn to the executive session to discuss authorized executive session, contract negotiations, PBA, SOA update. No other actions will be taken by the Township Council at the conclusion of this meeting. Therefore, the recording will be ending now. Be well, Franklin.